Hey guys, this is Gary Lee Staley, your sales guy. Hey, today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, which is sales. All right, we got a cool subject for ourselves today, so let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Get a little fist bump, say howdy. What's our subject for today? Our subject for today is selling. How to ask good questions to help customers buy. What did he say? I said selling. How to ask good questions to help your customers buy. You know, I've been in sales in one form or capacity since the 80s. I've seen it all. The good, the bad, and the ugly, and all that kind of stuff that's in between. And one of the things I've learned over my selling career is you gotta ask good questions. How do you ask good questions? That's a good question. See, listen, you know, if you're a salesperson and you just start talking about all kinds of things that don't make any sense, it's kind of like wasting the customer's time, and it's kind of like wasting your time too. You know, a good introduction saying, hi, that's a real easy one. And another thing is when you get a chance to start talking about your product, you're having what they call a selling conversation. And once you start your selling conversation, you kind of want to have already practiced it in the past. And the reason being is because, see, when you're talking to customers, you want to make sure that you stay on track. And if you have a process, you've probably already prepared and you've learned how to have a basic conversation about your product. Now, here's one of the things that I love to do when I talk to customers. You know, I always ask them, well, what have you seen out there that's similar to this? Or have you even heard about this type of product? Or have you ever used this type of service before? See, what you're doing is you're opening the customer up to answering questions. Maybe they've never seen it before. Maybe it's brand new to them. Maybe they don't have a clue about what you're trying to sell. But maybe you're selling a service or something that the customer needs. And a lot of times we're knocking on their door at a very inconvenient time, or we're calling them over the phone, or we're going business to business, or we're just saying, hey, have you seen this? And see, what you have to do is remember, if they haven't seen it, that doesn't mean they don't want to see it. They just need somebody to enlighten them so that way they can figure out, well, do I want to go ahead and get it or not? And the key to success is to ask good questions. I'm over here sweating in the parking lot. It's the late September here in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a little hot, so if I look a little sweaty, I got the AC down so you can hear me. And the key to success when you're trying to sell is to keep on asking good questions. Now, I always have a piece of paper and a pad in my hand, always writing down questions and answers. So when a question answers a question that I've given them, I write it down. See, what I'm doing is making the customer see me writing something down and then letting it be familiar to them. Because, see, if you pull out a piece of paper and that you're at the end of the sale, what happens is they get a little apprehensive. They get a little scared. But if you ask them questions, you just make a little notation, the customer will eventually build their understanding that, hey, you're there to help them. You're not there to take advantage of them. And you're concerned because you're asking good questions. Our topic for today is selling. How do you ask good questions to help your customers buy? You know, a good question that a lot of people might want to have asked is this, you know, what do you know about this particular product? Do you have any friends or family that may be using this product? And make sure you listen, guys, because, see, customers, they will tell you things that you need to know to be able to close them. It's very simple. It's not complicated. But as salespeople, sometimes we make it complicated. When I first got into sales, you know, I was really fast at my presentations. I'd talk all blah, 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 and then I'd ask for the order. Well, I had a lot of good closes, but how much more would I have done if I would have asked even better questions? Selling and asking good questions can direct the customer in the direction that you want them to go. It's a basic thing as far as having a sales conversation. But see, here's the thing. We're salespeople. That's what they pay us for. We work on commission. So we got to close sales. So we've got to learn how to have that selling conversation and asking good questions, directing them in a direction for them to say, well, you know what, man, this sounds pretty good. Maybe I should go ahead and invest in it. I sure hope they ask me to buy. It don't happen that easy, but I'm just kidding with you. But asking good questions of your customers, you know, a good question I like to ask, well, how do you feel about what we're talking about? How do you feel? What do you think? I'm asking these questions because I want them to feel the process. I want them to say, well, I hadn't even thought about that. Have you thought about using this in your home? I'm directing. There we go again. I'm asking good questions. Now, if we were going to put this in your room, where in this room would you put it? You're in their home. You're selling in their home. Hey, if we were going to get this service started this week, maybe we're going to do the maintenance in your yard. What time do you think would be better for us to come into your home or come to your home? Between 8 and 9, or would 10 or 11 be better for you? Again, you're asking good questions. And another question is, if they're buying something from you from a showroom, like furniture, for instance, so who would be using this product in your home? Who would be sitting on this sofa? Who would be, and see, what you're doing is you're giving them some momentum to say, well, I hadn't even thought about that. Maybe I need to think about that. Because, see, what happens is a lot of times when people buy stuff from us, it's because they have a pain situation that's come up and they need to replace something, or they're out in the market and they see something that intrigues them, or maybe they've heard from their friends that, hey, there's this cool product out there, you might want to get it. Or you could be in a store. It's just a really big thing. I'm a door-to-door salesperson a lot of the time. I do a lot of clover knocking. I'm business to business, door to door. I call a lot of people I sell over the phone. And one of the things that I like to do is I like to have a script prepared. A script prepared means it's something that I'm going to do over and over and over again, so that way I can get what I want, a sale. It's really simple. But if you're not prepared, you kind of are all over the place. So you have to have a script. You have to have good questions to ask when you're talking to your customer, because, see, it makes sense, because, see, they'll talk themselves into owning something if you give a good presentations and you ask enough good questions. And that's a really big deal, guys, because, I've been in sales since the 80s in one form or capacity, and I love the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the warts and all, but a lot of times people will tell you how to sell stuff, but they don't remind you that you're selling because you're asking good selling questions. Good selling questions could be, in this room where you're planning on putting this, how many people are going to be sitting at this dining room table? Oh, it's just you and your husband? Oh, you got kids? And you're asking open-end questions. You're asking, so when you and your significant other, when you guys go on this trip, to wherever, what are y'all planning on doing? You're selling, you're opening the customer up. So when you buy this new car, are y'all planning on going on a new trip? Are y'all planning on, is anybody coming down to see you over the Christmas and the holidays? Is this present going to be for somebody that you really care about? See, you're asking good questions. A good question will make the customer go, A good question will make a customer go, I hadn't thought of that. A good question will open the customer up so that way they can have a conversation with you. Because, see, a lot of times customers, they have this big old shield in front of them because they've been browbeated. They've heard mom and dad say, don't listen to them salespeople. Them some bad people. Don't trust them. And, sometimes they shouldn't trust bad salespeople because, see, there's been a lot of things in the past that people have done hadn't taken good care of their customer. That's why a lot of good businesses went out of business, because they forgot about the customer and the service. And our topic for today is selling. How to ask good questions to help customers buy. If you have a good product, and I have some good products, first off, you have to have a good lead program. Hopefully you've got people that can buy what you're trying to sell. See, if you're selling to somebody who can't afford it, or somebody who would love to be able to have it, but they just don't have it at this time to be able to help them, it's just a really sad situation. But selling and having conversations and doing the right next thing is so valuable. It makes all the sense in the world. Asking good questions like, hey, in this particular product that you're getting today, did you know that it's going to help you to be able to do whatever? You got to be able to pull things out of customers too. You got to say, hey, is your husband going to be using this in this particular room? Is your wife going to be using this? Is your children, are they going to be using this? You got to ask these questions because, see, what will happen is they'll put themselves into the buying experience, the owning experience. So when you got this brand new pool, this brand new house and everything, which one of these rooms is going to be your man cave? Which one of these is going to be your your woman cave? Which one of these particular areas is the place where you're going to be spending most of your time? Are you going to take this smaller room, or are you going to take this larger room for your primary bedroom? See, what I'm doing is I'm opening the customer up. I'm asking good leading questions. And by asking good questions, it makes them feel familiar. It makes customers feel comfortable. Think about it. When's the last time you had somebody try to sell you something? Did you like somebody who spewed a bunch of facts and figures and a bunch of information all over you? Or did you like the salesperson who asked you your opinion? So in your opinion, do you think this might fit in your budget? Do you think, in your opinion, that this might fit in that bedroom? In your opinion, do you think that if we could save you some money today, we can help you go ahead and get it? You see what I'm doing? My name is Gary Lee Stanley. We just had a very simple conversation about selling and asking good questions. And the big good question is hey, did you want to go ahead and go with that? And just keep your mouth shut and just write it up. See, the key to success is asking really good questions, guys. And you have to get a piece of paper out. Start writing down those questions that you're going to ask your customer. So that way you can practice it over and over and over again and keep asking the same ones. And I have a lot of the same questions when I talk to customers, and I always have more to be able to pull out of my bag. And this, when I mean my bag, I don't want to call it a bag of tricks, but a bag of good information. That way I can make sure that, because see, listen, customers are not all the same. Now, you may have some that are very similar, but you also have some that are not the same. They're all different. So you have to have a big bag of questions, good questions to ask your customers, so that way you can lead them in to the ultimate thing that you want, which is a sale. It's really simple. My name is Gary Lee Stanley. We just had a very simple conversation about, asking good questions. When was the last time you wrote down some good questions to ask your customer to help them make a good buying decision? So go out there and sell something, but if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. And asking good questions can make the process of selling to your customer and helping them buy something so much easier. So go out there and sell something. And remember, our topic for today is selling, how to ask good questions to help your customers buy. Did you get that? That's a question. Go out there and sell something. Help your customer. They want to buy. All right.